What's going on YouTube? Today I just wanted to talk about the Nintendo Famicom. So, if you don't know what the Nintendo Famicom is, it is the Japanese version of the NES. It came out in 1983, 2 years prior to the NES hitting the US market in 1985. So, if you have an NES, should you get a Famicom? If you don't have either, should you get the Famicom instead of the NES? Well, let me talk and compare on both of them, and hopefully I can help you pick one and make a decision. So let's take a look and let's get into it. Alright, so let's talk about the Famicom, aka the family computer. So I have the Famicom right here. I have the Nintendo NES here, or Nintendo Entertainment System. And I have two games, same game, Super Mario Bros. 3. Which I consider is the best game for the original Nintendo or Famicom. So let's talk about some pros first. So pro to buy the Famicom. It's a collector's item. So if you're into retro gaming, if you're into collecting, I think it's really cool to have. This came out in 1983. As I mentioned before, and if it wasn't for the success of the family computer, Famicom, we would have never gotten the NES in the States. And if we would not have gotten the NES in the States, we wouldn't know gaming as we know it today. So I just think it's very cool having a piece of history, me personally. Another pro for the Famicom to purchase one. The games are cheaper. Quick example, Mario Bros. 3. I bought this on eBay for about $5 with shipping. This game costs anywhere from $15, $20, $25, $30, depending on where you get it, who you buy it from. So that's a lot cheaper. Another pro for the Famicom is there are a lot of Japanese games that we never got to experience here in the States that are really fun, and if you had one of these, you could check them out and play them and add to your collection. Another pro for me personally is I like the fact that it's small and portable. Now, I'm sure there's not a lot of people that are going to take the Famicom, transport it to a friend's house, and play it there. I'm pretty sure not a lot of people will. But if you choose to, you could. It's also cool in a sense that it doesn't take up a lot of space in your entertainment center because it's small. So another pro for me, the controllers are more comfortable. If you compare the controllers, Famicom, NES, the edges here are round. The edges here are pointy. This is much more comfortable to hold as opposed to this one. So I really like the controller for the Famicom. Another pro for the Famicom. This is a top loader system. So you plop the game in like that, and you should have no issues compared to the NES, the American NES. A lot of the American NESs malfunction because of the design of the system, where you have to push down to get the game in to be able to play. Top loader, you don't really have that problem. You just plop it in and that's it. Let's talk about some cons. The controllers are hardwired into the system. And not only that, but they're hardwired into the back. So if one of these controllers malfunctions, it's going to be a pain in the neck to try to replace it. You'd have to open the system up, detach the malfunctioning controller, hardwire the new controller to the motherboard, and it's just a pain in the neck. I wouldn't even know how to do it personally, so it would just be a mess. Another thing about the controller is the length of the wire. the length of the wire is, I want to say, roughly about 3 feet. And that's pretty short. You have to stand pretty close to the TV. And another thing that makes it even worse is that it's hardwired in the back. So it makes it that much shorter compared to the American controller for the NES, which is, I want to say, roughly about 6 feet. Another con on the Famicom. The NES has AV, audio-visual out, in addition to the RF. The Famicom only has a RF, unless you get this modded. And again, you know, it could be kind of pricey, and if you do it yourself, unless you're an expert, it could be a pain in the neck. Again, like I stated, I don't know what I'm doing, so it would be horrible. To some people, the Famicom is not aesthetically pleasing. Some people might not like the look of it, the design of it. Some people might not like the color scheme. I personally like it. I like well, it's not white anymore, but it's supposed to be white and burgundy, but the one I have is now more of a cream-ish, yellowish, and burgundy, and the controller has gold and black. I actually like it. I think it's cool. Some people might not think so. This American one, I think it's cool too. The novelty of sticking the game, and just putting it down and just hearing that little click, it just brings a lot of nostalgia. Okay, I think it's cool. Even though it's big and bulky, I still love this thing. I think this looks cool as well. But real quick, my final thought. Should you get a Famicom if you have an NES? Or get a Famicom instead of an NES if you don't have either? I think unless you are really into retro gaming, into old school gaming, into just having a piece of memorabilia or add to your collection, unless you want to do that, I say no. I would just stick with the American version. If anything, just for the fact that it has AV outs and the controller length for the wire is longer, and you could actually plug in and out the controller instead of having it hardwired into the system. With that said though, I have both, and I really, really love having a Famicom. Like I said, I think it's cool. I think it's cool having a piece of history. So there you go. There's a quick comparison, a quick overview of the system. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. So, and I hope that in you watching this video, it kind of helped you, understand the Famicom a little more. And if you're thinking of buying one, hopefully I helped you with your decision. So I appreciate you guys checking this video out, and I'll see you next time. So peace out, everyone. Have a good day.